And sure enough, in my pattern mode, I've got and not only do I have that, but I have the ability to move the tempo wherever I want it to. So just for fun, do the same thing this one. So integrated sampling, got to find which one it is. It's not that one. It's the one that says woodblock. Where are you? There it is. See where I'm selecting it up there? Different stuff. There's the one. Right? Slice that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. See how smart I made sure I just had 2 measure ones. So it'll go up to 8 measures. That's how long this guy will work. Anything past that, now you're talking about recording an actual track. This is actually, but this does some pretty cool things with the loop once this guy gets done here. And here we go. Let's make sure it's fine. Hit enter to fix it. Now I go back to my pattern mode. Pattern mode. And let's solo 15 here. So I'm going to mute these other tracks, and we'll just listen to this one here for a second. Okay. One thing that I love about the Motif is this little thing that I just opened up the screen here. It's called play effects. So play effects are basically non-destructive quantizing. So quantizing would be if I was in here and I wanted to select a track and go to this job function and say quantize, I can fix it to the nearest whatever note. This one is 16th note, is 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. If I wanted to swing, I would quantize it using the swing rate here. So it'll go or which is straight. Okay, but the thing about this is a destructive thing here. I have one level of undo, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually mess with some things in here. So that's what these play effects do. I just turn them on, and that's the audio track that the sliced up audio here. And if I want to swing it, I can do this. If I want to adjust the velocity of the swung note or cut it way down, give it some attitude. Strength is whether or not I want to completely quantize it all the way. If I have 2 16th notes and I hit here, this is the distance between 2 of them here, and I hit right there. 50% closer moves me halfway closer, so it keeps my groove but doesn't completely destroy my time. 100% would be right to the nearest 16th note. Clock shift, this is another cool one. If I want this little groove to be behind the beat a little bit, I would add clock pulses. If I want it to be in front of the beat a little bit, I would subtract clock pulses. So I can listen to it now in context to my groove here. Not swing it. Okay, so that's part. There's Carl's Udo track. Let's do something very different with this one. So what I want to do here is take the gate rate of each of those Udo things and make them all. And then since I have, the power of the Motif synth engine in front of me, I can mess with filters on here if I want. See what we got for. Put some reverb on it. I can even add cooler effects. Things like, let's see, effect. Let's change my chorus effect from phaser to a delay, but I want a tempo delay. Maybe not so much send on here. See my send right there? Send. No effect. Let's solo this track. Oops. Okay, so let's say I've got something here that I like. Actually, I want to do one more thing. Okay, I could use that one, that exact, hold on, let me do one quick thing here. So this play effect here, I like how that sounds. I want to write that now to the track. I just want to, so job, normalize play effect. So now it erases that, but it wrote everything that I wrote into it. So now all the data is. Okay, now check this out. Real-time loop remix. Okay, what this is a whole bunch of different little algorithms that take whatever groove you have and create cool variations of them. So we'll go over here. We have pitch ones. I got some roll ones. Let's try a roll one. So the numbers here, roll 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 are from the least radical to the most radical. So a 16 will be super radical. We'll do something kind of right about 5. And then there's different variations, and you see that little purple thing in there? Or I guess it's sort of bluish on there. It shows you where it's going to do this effect. So, and then the interval is how many measures it does it. So every 2 measures, we'll do it every 2 measures, hit apply. And this is non-destructive too. So if you don't like it, I can do it every measure if I want. We'll try a roll 6 variation 4. So right now we're kind of in a vacuum with it, but I can listen to it in context to maybe. Okay, maybe not every measure, but that actually is pretty cool. So I hit apply. So I can try stuff out, and then when I like something, like this one, I say, yeah, it's cool, and then write it to the track. Let's do a different one to this guy. Remix. I'll do a pitch one to this one. Do a pretty good one here. That one actually changes the pitches of the individual. There we go. That's a cool one. Yeah, okay. So now I can, do some really creative, very interesting things that, it's kind of cool having a piece of hardware that does this. Because doing all the things I'm doing here on a piece of software is a little bit more time consuming and you have to deal with the software. But I'm going to talk about that in a second because we're actually pretty well dialed in with the software into life here too. So now what I want to do is take this pattern and I want to send it to my friend. I want to email it. So the first thing I need to do is capture this somehow. Well, I have a USB stick right here. So I'm going to go ahead and record this now directly to my USB. So hit record, and I can name it, I'll name it 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also plug in an ASCII keyboard, by the way, to the USB and type this in, but I didn't have one, so I didn't bring one with me. We'll do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit enter. Now you see I have the little setup here, so I can see. Okay, that'll work. So we'll start from the beginning here. Let the effect go away. Hit enter. So now, see right there? 1, 2, 3, 4 wave. Let's make sure this is right. That's the one, right? Okay. So now, so I'm working with John back there on this, okay? See John? John's back there. You got your phone? Yeah. Okay, cool. Make sure that this is indeed. Now at this point, do you notice that the audio is coming out of the speakers from my computer? So I always like to point that out when I do this the first time. So how is that working? It's because I have my FireWire card in here. So I have the connected via FireWire. I'm going to the little bit more about computer connectivity in a second. There it is. So on his phone in a second, Once he downloads his mail, he'll be able to play that file. So that is a cool thing about this product right away, is that you can use this to do a lot of production, a lot of collaboration. Send it to your friend who just happens to be over there, but it's giving him, it's downloading it. So the ability to do that is a very cool thing just with this instrument. So great sounds, very important part. Being able to have stuff to help you write and realize music with performances, being able to record stuff, being able to take audio in, mix, match it, do all the things like that with it. So the last thing is, or the second to last thing, is the idea of computer connectivity, because we absolutely at Yamaha, we realize that this is a very important part of music production now, is computer connectivity. So if you don't know this, you probably do, but about 5 years ago, we acquired a company called Steinberg that is now a wholly owned subsidiary of Yamaha. Steinberg makes Cubase, Nuendo products. So when you buy the Motif, you have a copy of Cubase in the box with you. When you buy it, you have a copy of what's called Cubase AI, which is a Yamaha version, a smaller version of the full version of Cubase 5. So what does that get you? I remember the first time I used a piece of software. There it is. I love doing this. So sent to his iPhone. That's cool. I think that's kind of fun. Because, I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that just even 5 years ago, really that effectively with any piece of hardware. It's pretty slick. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Cubase here once it opens up here. So we are a company that is not like some other hardware companies or software companies that are in hardware or software denial. It's funny, you go to the NAMM show, and I actually got into a little thing with a guy at a virtual instrument manufacturer that I won't name. And he said he looked at my thing here, Yamaha, and he says, "Oh, Yamaha, right on." I go, "Yeah, well, what do you do for Yamaha?" And I go, "Well, I work for music production, so I do like the Motif and the CPs and stuff like that." And he goes, "Oh, man, I don't know why you guys continue to make those workstations." And I said, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And he said, "Well, because, you know, these software instruments are so slick, you know, and they're really low cost, and it's such a cheaper way to go." And I was like, "Really? It's a cheaper way to go? Completely? Is it really?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, I mean, this particular software plugin is $499. I said, "Okay, cool. So there's $500. What else do I need?" He goes, "Well, you can buy a controller for $399. I go, "No, you can't. You know, controllers are. I'm very picky about my action on my stuff, so I particularly like our actions quite a bit, considering we make instruments. You know, so he goes, "Okay, well, fine. Well, I'll give you. How about a controller for $1,000? Think you find one that you like that feels good?" I go, "Yeah, maybe so. So I'm $1,500 down, right?" He goes, "Yeah, okay." Well, so this is just a plugin we're talking about. You also have to buy a DAW. So that's a piece of software. I'll say $200. I'll give you that." He goes, "Okay, so we're still far away from your Motif." And I go, "Well, not really, because actually the Motif 6 is what, $23.95 or something like that." And I can still beat you because you're forgetting the one thing about the software-only solution. He goes, "Well, what's it? You know, well, the computer, right there. You have to buy a computer, and you can't just buy your $599, $499 Dell laptop generally because they don't have what it takes you to run those things. And you have an audio interface. That's going to cost you money. $200. We'll do a cheap audio interface. So you're still now we're coming together with a piece of hardware that does all this stuff. So that's the software company and the hardware denial. You know, we're trying to make, you know. So from the hardware side, the hardware people say, "Oh, computers crash all the time," and they bring up all the negatives of computers. You know, you have no idea what will happen. You know, well, what if your screensaver starts in the middle of something and you lose everything? What if you get a virus? All those things. So there's two sides of this that we don't, you know, there's both things that are very cool about both, right? So